Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tribal Trades. Welcome to the daily show from wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Extend a warm welcome to you. I am filming this after the close Tuesday. This will be going live in about 6 hours early Wednesday morning. So I just wanted to get some thoughts after the Ethereum ETF went live. Now, of course, if you haven't smashed the like, please do that. That will help get this content out to more people, grow the channel, and love all the comments and questions. I still have a few of those to get back to today, so just bear with me, be patient with me. Of course, if you're in the Discord, I'm in there daily in the Stocks with Josh. You can check out the link below in the description. That being said, there has been some fake tribal traders in there. That's not me. I will never DM you first. So if you received a friend request from me, please reject that and report that. That is definitely not me. And I know many of you have been wise to that and have been reported that and are looking out for other community members. I've also updated the cheat sheet with a links section here, which I think should help. It's got basically all the links that are in the YouTube description, obviously except the cheat sheet, because if you have the cheat sheet open, then you already have the cheat sheet link. And so these are all the exchange listings here that I recommend: Bitfinex, BitGet, Bybit, Coinbase. You've got all these here. The Elon Empire game, which you can sign up there. The Hamster Kombat game. Some Casper stuff, Lux Algo, Mexi, NordVPN. If you want to keep your identity and your location secure when you're browsing the web, highly recommend that. And then TradingView, of course, and Uphold. I'll put it all in alphabetical order there for you. I will be adding to these links. I probably am not going to add much more links to the YouTube because then it gets a bit long, but here I can just go on forever. However, I may have like exchange links on one links page, and I may create another one. This is going to become like a master place to come to and get all your resources and entries and exits on coins. I've got some color codes there. I've got some others in here as well. So check out that cheat sheet, and just, again, it's linked in the description of this video. All right, let's jump in to the Bitcoin charts today. Let's do a bit of a Bitcoin update. So we did have a bit of a pullback. Maybe some of that money rotated out of Bitcoin into Ethereum. The key thing is that we are still above the 50-day moving average at 63,800. That's a key level I'm looking for. I'm not really bothered on any little pullback. We certainly have come up and retested the trend line, and we have broken down below it. If we retest that and reject, then we most certainly, in my opinion, the likelihood of coming down to that 50-day moving average again is quite high. Again, the more times we test that, the weaker it's going to get. We have had a few tests. I think we've had about 4 tests here. So if we come down for a 5th, 6th, if we start to get 7 or 8 tests, then I think we're going to then come and close the CME gap and look to come down to, at least first of all, there'll be a fair bit of support here at this trend line that I've drawn here at about 61,000. This 200 EMA is slowly moving up. It's a 59. So maybe this converges up to here and we see a pullback, or maybe we just bounce off this 50-day moving average, or maybe this is just a deviation and we come straight back up above this trend line. This is a trend line that I've drawn, by the way. It is very subjective, but you can see it was a key area that once we broke that, that is what caused the fall. And certainly we had a big test of it here, and we held and came up, and then we retested this trend line. So these trend lines have been pretty strong and have been pretty accurate. And so that's where I kind of see Bitcoin. I haven't really changed my thesis. I do think we could bounce around between the top of the range here and down to here, 200 EMA, which is what we did come back down and test, which I said was a likely scenario that did play out. And so I do see us, but eventually I do just see us breaking out of here, July, August, and then into September, October. We just start to get clear. Here into November and December, I think we set new Bitcoin all-time highs in the final quarter. Okay, let's look at some Bitcoin news, because there was a fair bit of news today out there. And first of all, this is not internal shuffling from existing custodial wallets. The balance, number one, of old whale wallets hasn't decreased. They haven't been selling. Okay, so whale wallets that have been around for a while, they haven't sold. And then the balance of new wallets have increased. So they've been scooping up these dips. So if the old whale wallets have not decreased, they've increased, and the new whale wallets have not decreased, they've increased, who's been selling? That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Okay. So short-term holders. Holders between 6 months to 2 years sold most of the Bitcoin as it approached its previous all-time high. That's who sold. Okay. Veteran holders aren't selling. Smart money, not selling. Okay, very important. Who else is selling? Miners are still selling. 10K Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin, biggest distribution since FTX collapse. Miners continue to sell in order to fund operations, but mainly taking advantage of Bitcoin price at $68,000. So good news is the hash rate continues to climb, but capitulation is still not over yet. So the miners are still selling. They're still capitulating. Very interesting. Who else is selling? Kraken states officially that Mt. Gox Bitcoin has been successfully distributed to creditors. How many of those creditors are going to sell? We don't know. We don't know what their intentions are, but I'm sure some of them did take some profits and did sell the Bitcoin. They've been waiting for a long time. I would expect that there would be some profit taking there. And of course, this is a little bit of FUD too. There could be some people that kind of panic sold after seeing this news event, okay? Let's jump to Ethereum and have a look at the Ethereum chart and see what played out. Now, my expectation, I'm just going to be honest here, I posted a video about this yesterday, was that ETH was going to have a little bit of a pump. And my expectation was ETH was going to come up and test here and be rejected at this first order block here, and this first, what do we got here at around 3,800. And I had a sell order in here for 3,800, and there just didn't seem to be much interest, unfortunately. Not yet anyway. So that was something a bit of a surprise. We do have a lot of volume here to break through. This is a key area. We really need to get up above this 35.35. So 35.35, mark that alert. If we can get above 35.35, retest that as support, we should come up and start testing this 37 to 39 block up here. It'll be interesting to see what happens because we have come back down to the 50-day moving average. Now, if we lose that 50-day moving average, we do have some EMA support, all these bands here, short, medium, and long-term EMA support. And we do have the 200 EMA on the daily down here at 3125. And we have the trend line with, coincidentally, the order block where I've drawn my trend line here at about 3,000 down to 2,800. So those would probably be the three levels. I'd be keeping an eye on the 50-day moving average sitting at about 3,400. If we lose that, retest against that, we lose this band here of support. Is a good band of support here, by the way. If we lose that, then this is almost certain that we'll come back to retest, which we haven't retested this yet. We haven't had actually on Ethereum, have we? We didn't on Bitcoin. Let's have a quick look here. Actually, we did have a retest of this, so that's interesting. On Bitcoin, we didn't. I missed this candle here. I'm not wearing my glasses, by the way. I couldn't find them, but appreciate all the people who enjoyed me wearing the glasses. But anyway, so it looks like we did get a retest, but we could get another retest of the 200 EMA there if we lose this 50-day moving average, retest against it, and fail to break back above. And that's going to be sitting at around 3,125, although I expect that this is going higher. When you're above a moving average on an EMA, it will trend up. This will move to the upside. We just haven't been up above it long enough, but you can see we've been above this, and you can see as it starts to come up as we've been up it over a long time. We didn't spend enough time underneath it. Okay, and then obviously we have the support here. These are good buy areas on my cheat sheet. You might be out of powder. If you are, that's fine. You just watch it come down. You watch it come down. Of course, you can play putting a stop loss in. And if we lose the 50-day moving average, you might want to stop loss out and rebuy at these lower levels. Of course, that's up to you. Certainly not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. These videos are for educational entertainment purposes only. If you choose to do that, that could be quite a smart play. But of course, you do risk that it fakes out below the 50-day moving average, pops off, and then you have to buy it back higher. Okay, these are always the risks. All right. Okay, so let's look at some ETH news. So first of all, Ethereum is currently, I covered this, I think yesterday or the day before. ETH is currently highly inflationary as there is not enough transaction to burn the newly emitted 50 to 60,000 ETH being minted. Okay, now you got to understand that although I believe all of the ETH supply is in circulation, the problem is there's no max supply. They can just mint more ETH and add more supply to the market. Therefore, the price can be controlled that way whenever they want to keep this price suppressed, which I believe the price was suppressed leading up to the ETF. And I believe that they're possibly going to keep it suppressed, allowing people to load up their bags for the next week or two before. And this is the only thing that makes sense to me. There was no jump in price. We didn't see anything move. And so here's the thing. There was, what was there? 1 billion of volume on their launch day. So it wasn't as much as Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 4.6 billion on their launch day, but 1 billion of volume on the launch day is nothing to be sneezed at. That's a fair bit, $1 billion. Okay, so the question is the price being suppressed so that these whales can accumulate Ethereum for longer, the Ethereum ETF for longer? Yeah, and you've got to remember this, that not all companies have been able to buy Bitcoin. This is why the ETFs are so big. It allowed companies, because MicroStrategy was able to buy Bitcoin, as was Tesla, but they had to jump through enormous hoops to get regulated to be allowed to buy it and hold it on their balance sheet. Now these companies can call their brokers and say, hey, listen, just buy me $10 million worth of Bitcoin. And they buy it on they buy it on Lotus. They're not even using their money. The brokerage firm will actually front the money for them at a small interest rate, and they're not having to use their own money. So number one, they're not using their own money. Okay, so Bitcoin can go up and they make millions and millions of dollars, and that little interest payment is insignificant and nothing. So it's just a no-brainer for these companies to put the Bitcoin on their balance sheet, not buy it personally through exchanges, which they're not able to do anyway unless they got properly regulated like MicroStrategy did. And they were smart in doing that, by the way. But they just call their broker. The companies can now buy it, and then the interest payment's easy because the price goes up so much. So that's what I need you to understand, why the Ethereum ETF is powerful, as is the Bitcoin ETF, and hopefully we have a Solana ETF as well. But here's the deal. I believe the price is being suppressed because they are minting Ethereum and adding to the supply, keeping the price down. I think once we stop and these institutions, these companies are ready to say, hey, let's pump this price, I think we're gonna see this. Strangely now, there's not going to be as much minted, because leading up to the announcement that there was going to be Ethereum ETF, the supply of Ethereum was actually reducing, and I did cover this the other day on my video. And then suspiciously, all of a sudden, leading up to the Ethereum ETF, instead of Ethereum pumping, it hasn't been able to, because they can just keep minting supply to keep the price pushed down. That's my theory anyway. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments, or if you've got another theory or something, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. Now, some bullish news for Ethereum. Obviously, they had 1 billion on their first day, which is great. Toyota is looking to adopt Ethereum and use blockchain technology in its vehicles. I hope that you were not going to have to pay Ethereum gas fees when you fill up for gas. All right, just kidding. But yeah, maybe if you have to, you could probably pay with Ethereum, and this could be something in the future. Pay with Ethereum, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Is looking to adopt, so there's been no official partnership there as far as I understand. ETH inflows to permanent holder address reaches an all-time high of 714,000 ETH yesterday, worth 2.4 billion. So this just does go to tell me that smart money is accumulating ETH at these low prices, locking it away and waiting for when it's ready to push the go button. The supply on ETH no longer is inflationary like it is where they're minting tokens. The minting stops and they start burning tokens, and the price starts to appreciate with the ETF buyers and the retail FOMOs. And let's see what happens, because this is what happened for Bitcoin. For about 2 weeks after the ETF launch, it went sideways and dropped pretty heavy, allowing all those whales to scoop up those Bitcoin ETFs at low prices before it got sent. Let's see if the same thing happens with Ethereum. Also, we have with Solana, and we're going to look at the Solana chart last year. Currently, Solana transaction per second is more than Ethereum, Polygon, Bitcoin, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base all together. So their speed is so much faster than all of those put together. And I do hope there is going to be a Solana ETF. But somebody shared that if Solana was the same market cap of about 400 billion as Ethereum, it would be worth $900. And they saw that as very bullish. Now, I don't disagree with that, but I have to ask the question, if it's the same market cap as Ethereum, but it's only $900, and Bitcoin, Ethereum today was around 3,500 or 3,400, why is Ethereum therefore, what is that, 4 times 9? So why is Ethereum 4 times better pricing at the same market cap of Solana? It comes down to tokenomics. It comes down to Solana also has a supply that is not capped. Solana can be minted just like Ethereum. They can add to the supply of Solana as well. And so if we look at the Solana chart, well, first of all, it's looking very, very bullish, far more bullish than Ethereum and Bitcoin is. And in fact, if we look at Solana versus Bitcoin, we look at Solana against the Bitcoin pairing, which I teach everybody on here to do, we can see that Solana is doing extremely well against Bitcoin. It's far better to be in Solana than Bitcoin. And I would expect that it's far better to be in Solana than Ethereum, almost identical charts there. Okay, so if we come back to Solana, we can see that, first of all, it's broken out of this wedge. So the wedge, they're all in wedges. Ethereum was in a wedge, Bitcoin's in a wedge. Solana's actually broken out of its wedge already. It's front running this, and it has been the leader. Solana took off first, and then Bitcoin followed. And so what you have here, it's well above its 50-day moving average at 150. So the value zone for me, where I would pick up more Solana, is around 150. This is moving up. So somewhere between 150 and 160, I'd be willing to pick up a little bit more Solana, because I took some profit on Solana up here at $183, because I felt that was going to top out there, and that turned out to be a correct call, taking profit, and I will accumulate as it comes back into these ribbons of EMA bands. Certainly, if we go to the bottom of the range, which is about 140, which coincidentally is where the 200 EMA is probably going to come up to, and then we have down here 120. So if I was putting orders in here, I would put an order. You never know, there might be some big scam wick, some big flash crash, and you manage to get some Solana on the cheap. Place some orders for Solana at about 120, and I usually go at 120, 125 maybe, and then up here at around 140 or 141. I like doing $1 above, and then put another order at about 150, and maybe one more at about 160. So I'd go 160, 150, 140, and about 125. Those would be good orders to pick up Solana on the cheap there, because I do think it could well possibly get to $900, but I'm pushing for at least $600 in this bull run. Sure, that's only another 3x from here, but I am very bullish on Solana, and certainly it could well go beyond the $900. We could see Solana go crazy. We saw Solana go crazy last bull run. What's to say it can't have another incredible run? Or what is the Solana of this run? Maybe it will be Casper, which has a max supply. They cannot mint any more tokens in there, and all their supply is out on the market there. So yeah, Ethereum supply is 120 million and Solana supply is more than that. It is almost 6 times that. And so this is why you have a situation that if Solana reaches the market cap of Ethereum, it's only going to be $900 because there is what did I say, it was 120 million and currently Solana is 580 million. So what is that? That is like 5 times. Is that 5 times the supply? Yeah, around 5 times the supply, or roundabout approximate. And this is why you have this issue. This is why I've always taught on this channel, tokenomics matter. Everybody throws out these big numbers for coins. Oh, such and such a coin is going to go to this price. Well, how? How is it going to go to this price? Look at the supply. How much of that supply is in circulation? And look at the tokenomics of how much supply they have in total. Ethereum has way less supply than Solana, which they are fully undervalued. I believe this. Solana is better technology. Why aren't they? They should be at least right now 4 times the price that they are. They should be at $800 or $900. If Solana was Ethereum, Solana right now would be at almost $1,000. If they just be careful about that. Do your own research. And until the next episode of Tribal Trades, happy trading.